Hi everyone, Julia here with Elevated Classics, and I want to talk about why YSL Libre keeps coming back. Because this isn't a one-hit release. This is one of those rare designer launches that turns into a pillar and then a full-on perfume empire. Libre launched in 2019 with that whole freedom message. Dua Lipa is the face and an instantly recognizable bottle that's basically an award-winning object at this point. And I want to start with a real question. When a perfume becomes a bestseller, do we actually want flankers or do we just accept that they're inevitable? Because Libre is the perfect case study. First, a little context. YSL Libre is owned by L'Oreal, which matters here because Libre isn't being built the way a small independent perfume house builds a signature. There's no in-house perfumer identity like you see with Chanel or Dior. Instead, there's a major beauty machine taking one successful formula and expanding it strategically. So, the next question is, are these flankers about creativity or about keeping a winning product permanently in the spotlight? Probably both. Now, what most people don't realize is Libre wasn't a quick release. It reportedly took years to develop. The perfumers behind the original, Flipo and Carlos Benaïm, are two of the biggest names in modern perfumery, and the story goes that the project began as early as 2011, with more than 1,500 trials before the final version was approved. That's not casual. That's a brand trying to engineer a modern classic, and it worked. Libre's structure is also part of why it worked. It takes a fougere idea, something traditionally associated with masculine colognes, and reframes it for women in a way that still feels bold but not costumey. So you get that aromatic opening, the lavender, the brightness, and then the floral heart, especially orange blossom, and then a warm base that gives it the lasting power people associate with Libre. So, let me ask you this. Do you think Libre is popular because it smells beautiful or because it performs like a main character perfume? Because it's one of the few designer scents that really does both. And once Libre became a bestseller, YSL did not let it sit still. We got the lighter versions, the deeper versions, the sweeter versions, the more floral versions, and if you've ever smelled the new flankers back to back, you know what's happening. They're not reinventing Libre, they're restyling it. So the question becomes, how many versions of the same identity do we actually need? Which brings us to the two newest additions, Vanilla Couture and Berry Crush. Let's start with Vanilla Couture because this one actually has a point of view. It keeps the Libre DNA, so you still get that familiar structure, but the vanilla is turned into the headline. This one is described with black bourbon vanilla caviar from Madagascar, and there's also a touch of rum absolute, which gives it this warm, slightly ambery, almost golden feeling. On skin, Vanilla Couture reads as creamy and polished, not sugary. It feels like Libre in a softer, more indulgent outfit. And I'll be honest, this is the one that makes sense to me because it asks a real question. What happens when you make Libre less sharp and more sensual? That's what Vanilla Couture is doing. Now let's come to the latest release, Berry Crush. Berry Crush goes in the fruity direction, which is trending in 2026. It opens with mandarin and raspberry, and it definitely gives that juicy, bright, playful first impression. But it doesn't abandon Libre's backbone. It still comes back to that signature lavender and Moroccan orange blossom heart. And then you get vanilla bourbon, musk, and even a creamy hint that people describe as coconut in the base. So it's pretty, it's fun, and it's easy to wear. But here's my honest take. If you already own a few Libre flankers, Berry Crush feels a little too close. Not bad, just close. So the real question is, do you want a new perfume or do you want a new mood of the same perfume? Because Berry Crush is a mood. And that's where I land on these two. I like both, but from a collector's perspective, from a wardrobe perspective, Vanilla Couture feels like it earns its place because it changes the texture of Libre in a noticeable way. Berry Crush feels like something you buy if you love Libre so much that you want every version, or if you specifically want a fruity Libre that still stays in the same family. So, I want to hear from you. Which Libre are you loyal to? Are you still wearing the original, or did you move to Intense, Le Parfum, Flowers and Flame, Le Nu, or one of the others? And if you smelled Vanilla Couture and Berry Crush, tell me, which one feels worth it to you? Which one feels redundant? This is Julia with Elevated Classics. Please follow and like and comment below. I would love to hear what you think.